opinions. They have programming. Question everything.
Hey guys and gals, welcome to Reaction Gap. Um, Today we're gonna talk about to stop following the herd. Um, so basically, what do we mean by stop following the herd? So I think everyone's wrong. Okay, they may feel they're right, but just do the opposite. Just because someone is doing something and they're saying they're doing it successfully, that might be the situation for them, not necessarily the situation for you or for me. Because most people, um, their decisions aren't their own. They just copy them. They copy their friends. They copy Instagram. They copy TikTok. They copy celebrities. Um, but they also copy people that are broke and people that are broke and trying to look rich or in a better position than they actually are. And then they wonder why their life looks exactly like everyone else's. So here's the controversial idea. If the herd is doing it, you should probably stop and ask why. Okay? Think about this. When something becomes popular, it's already too late. So even on this channel, reactions happen or situations happen and we react to them, right? By the time that everyone is buying Bitcoin, for example, the smart money already bought years earlier. They're ahead of the game, right? By the time everyone wants beachfront property, prices have exploded. By the time everyone is wearing those same shoes, the fashion, it's already moved on. Unless you're shopping in places where the expectation is that the fashion's already old, right? But most people don't even care about that stuff. I mean, the herd, or most people, they don't create trends. They chase them. Even relative to your work, to your job. Social media tells you, quit your job, become an entrepreneur, be your own boss. Really? Without a plan? If everyone could successfully run a business, they would. Businesses fail every single day. And maybe, just maybe, the smartest move isn't quitting tomorrow. Maybe it's mastering your job now, your career now. Learning skills, saving money, building something on the side. Last week's episode was specifically about a side hustle. So I'll include that at the end of this episode. So if you have a few minutes, watch that. Okay. And leaving only when you're ready. It's kind of boring. Related to your job, I'm saying, but boring usually wins. All right. And how does this work when you're looking to buy a house? I mean, here's another idea, right? So everyone says, wait until rates come down. Really? When is that? Tell me someone that knows when rates are coming down, like when they actually know. Okay. If millions of people wait, what happens? The demand explodes. Bidding wars, they return, and the prices, what happens? They rise because of it. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if you don't follow the herd, it could actually help the housing market when it comes to that. Sometimes buying when everyone else is afraid, it's cheaper than buying when everyone else feels safe. Because I've said this before, fear creates opportunity. Comfort creates competition. Okay? How about in reference to buying a new car, buying a car? Um, I think sometimes people buy a car to impress people. We've all seen the social media posts where someone's holding the steering wheel, they got a somewhat of a fancy watch, and somehow that frame is just perfect. It's the watch and the emblem, Mercedes or Ferrari, whatever it is, you know. Um, so that creates, in some instances, um, they're trying to impress people. Maybe they are. Maybe they're impressing some people. Um, but people who don't really care, like think about it. A $900 car payment plus for a stranger at a red light, nobody's thinking, wow, look how he or she is so successful. Uh, they're thinking the light just turned green. you know, the wealthiest people that I know often drive the most ordinary cars, um, the not so flashy cars. Years ago, Volkswagen created this car called the Volkswagen Phaeton, spelled with a PH, Phaeton. Everybody misspelled it, I'm sure. But basically, that was designated for a specific type or a high net worth individual, doctor, lawyer, or whatever, somebody that made money but didn't want to have the emblem, the Mercedes, the Audis, the other brands of the world. Hey, what do you drive? I drive a Volkswagen. But meanwhile, um, they went up to over $100,000, and this is 20 years ago. They stopped production here, but I'm going out of tangent. But in Europe, they still made it, I guess. And the car was built on the Bugatti, um, the Flying Spur, which was a $250,000 car, right? So it's true. The wealthiest people do drive the most ordinary cars. Um, and the people that are trying the hardest to look wealthy, they usually they aren't, right? How about vacations? Instagram kind of ruined vacations because I don't know if people travel anymore. They travel to produce content, right? So you see someone's, and I'm guilty of that years ago, where you go on vacation and almost you feel so connected to your phone where you're posting every day exactly what you've done. It's sort of, and that's what I mean. It takes that excitement of the vacation, the family time, the bonding, and it becomes content. Obviously, you didn't mean to do that, but I think most people do. So the perfect beach photo, the perfect resort, the perfect sunset. Meanwhile, they never actually enjoy the moment. Um, but I learned my lesson because some of the best vacations that we've had, um, zero content on social media. You know, you keep it private, you appreciate it more. But if you have a channel, I'm not going to knock you down. If you have a channel that's specific to that, not making your personal social media page content page, but if you have a channel that's dedicated to that, 100% it makes sense, right? So social media rewards attention, not intelligence. The loudest voices often know the least. The angriest opinions actually get the most engagement. The most outrageous advice gets shared the fastest. Doesn't make it true. It's virality. It's not credibility. So, what's the psychology of this? I think that humans evolved to stay with the tribe. Um, thousands of years ago, if you left the tribe, you leave the group, it meant death, right? Something extraordinary. Today, following the crowd can still cost you financially, professionally, emotionally. The instinct is ancient. The consequences are modern. Here's what I've learned. So, average people seek comfort, successful people seek the truth. Average people, they ask, what is everyone else doing? But successful people, they ask, what is everyone missing? Right? That's the gap in our reaction, right? The space between what people react to and what actually creates results. So next time, everyone tells you to buy, pause. If everyone tells you to sell, pause. When someone says, yeah, you know what, this is the only way, pause. Question it. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. But don't outsource your thinking. Because the moment you stop thinking, you start following. And followers rarely lead. If this episode challenged you or the way you think, good. That is the point. So our motto here is question everything, question often. If you like this content, please hit subscribe. Leave your comments below. I'd like to get some feedback. If there's anything you'd like me to go over or give you my opinion about, please leave that in the comments. I appreciate those that made it to the end. And until next time, question everything. Thank you very much. Have a good day.